What is going on, people? The Palace are back, the Premier League is back, and we are back with a win. As you can hear from my voice still hasn't recovered. I've just officially landed today. Rush home to watch the game, and what a win. But as always, if you do enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to not miss out on future Palace content. And if you're new here to the live match reactions, as always, we want to hear from you, where the lines will be open in a few minutes' time, where you guys can join and have your say. A professional debut performance from Lerma, Odson Edward on the goal sheet, which was fantastic as well. Clean sheet away from home. There's a lot to talk about today, but as always, if you guys want to leave in your comments, send in your comments as well. If you don't want to call in, and we'll read them out throughout the show. But look, I just want to start off with my thoughts to the game before the link is posted. A very professional performance from Palace. A lot of people already saying, we're faced a weak opposition. It's Sheffield United. And I understand it to a certain extent, of course. It's Sheffield United, and it's one of those teams that a lot of people expect to go down. But considering all that's been going on this past summer, about Elise wanted to leave, Wilf left, and all that doubt, going into this game, it was a bit, negative from the fan base. And honestly, you can only beat what's in front of you. In the first half, I thought we created chances, maybe not that many big chances. In the second half, I thought we showed our quality, and that quality doesn't only stop with Edward. I think it starts with Eze, in honesty, and that was the most important thing out of today's game. Eze was a creative player, and in the second half, we showed our quality. We showed our quality. Fantastic goal from Edward. But it's not only about the goal I want to speak about with Edward today. There's a lot more to talk about with Edward. As always, you guys can join in and let us know what you guys think about his performance, because I thought he had a very complete performance. Last season, the main problem, I'm not getting carried away saying Edward is back or not, but the main positive was that he was involved. He was involved with the link-up play today. He looked interested. His attitude and his body language just seemed ideal whilst watching him, and the goal topped it up. So I thought it was a very good performance from the likes of Edward and the defense and more. So overall, look, I'm happy with the game. I'm happy with the performance. I'm also very delighted with the 3 points, because it's something that we needed. I can only imagine the reaction if we was not going to win this game. But I'm joined by Patrick. What a win. What a win. 1-0 win. I'll be honest, Patrick, the only thing that I would say was disappointing was the fact that we didn't score more goals, which is, a positive in itself. But what did you make of the game?
No, I agree. By the way, welcome back. How was your? Let's get to the more. How was your trip to Turkey? More importantly.
Oh, it was good. It was good. As you can hear, I've lost my voice.
Yeah, your voice.
I haven't had my voice for the last 10 days. It's been weird. Ever since I've gone on holiday, I've been ill, so it kind of ruined in that aspect. Yeah, but I'm very tired, honestly. Yeah, words can't describe how tired I am. I'm jet
we missed
lagged,
you, man.
barely slept.
We missed you, man. No
yeah,
content
man,
going out. We missed you, man. We missed you.
Yeah, man. I've missed everyone as well. And I honestly, like, watching today's game at the first time, I was like, damn, like, this is really it. Like, Palace are back. It feels like time has flew by after all them Palace news episodes. But Patrick, I mean, we came back today. Jeffrey Schlupp was starting down the left-hand side. You had IE down the right. There were some question marks about the team selection by some people. But for me, I thought it was our strongest team that you could put out there with if you look at the bench as well. What did it make about the lineup going into this game? Did it give you a bit of confidence boost that you saw the likes of Eze, Lerma, Decore, Gay, Anderson all starting?
I mean, no, because they have to start. So let's get the lineup. I mean, I had no problem with the lineup. He listen. You won't hear me criticize Roy this season at all, because he's got nothing to work with again, like last time. But what he put out there, he did the best he could. Having Mitchell back really helped, I think, having that balance of a left-footed left back, which was good. I thought Gay and Anderson were very good together. The Corey, Lerma, I won't get to them later on, but they were good together. But there's one thing I'd like to tweak in the formation, but together they were very good. For Lerma's debut was very good. The problem happens to be the width that we don't happen to have. Now we have Schlupp and Ayu, but it's not their fault. I thought Ayu actually had a really good game. Excellent assist for the goal. But there's no width in the way we had it before. We had Zaha, Elisa. And I'm not comparing them to Zaha and Elisa. I'm just saying the width isn't there, and that's a problem. And like you, I thought Edward played really, really well. I mean, he worked his socks off, got in position to score 2 goals. He only got credit for 1 because of the offside. But I thought he worked really well, and he had I think he had 7 shots. I'll do that later in the player ratings. But I don't remember last time I had 7 shots for us, honestly. So listen, he did what he had to do today. So kudos to Edward. And again, Roy, formation wise, tactically wise, got it spot on today. No complaints about him at all.
Yeah, and he got involved in the touchline as well. Once again, he's fired up, man. He's
that was
excited
hilarious.
about this season.
That was hilarious.
Yeah,
My man got grabbed around the midsection, wanted to punch the guy. That was brilliant. I mean, and then Paddy
he's
getting involved
passionate. He's
and
showing the
Joe
passion.
Ward. No, listen, you got credit to him, man. 76 years old, getting involved like that, man. Credit to him, man. So
Yeah. Look, the lines are open, people. So if you want to call in to have your say on the game, you can click on the pinned comment in the comment section down below to join us live. We'll be bringing on guests in just a few minutes' time. Let's bring on T. How you doing, man?
Going on, fellas?
What's going on? I'm good, man. I'm good. How you doing, man? It's like a how do you call it? It's like a reunion today. Patrick, you've had your surgery as well, so I know you've been like bedbound.
Man.
But how you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling slow. I'm feeling disabled.
Well, if
I'm good though. I got to sit my butt on the couch and watch a Palace dub. So I'm good.
What did you make about it? What did you make about the game?
Man, I thought it was good, man. I mean, it's one of those matches where you look at the final score and you think that it was like a lot closer than what it really was. I mean, we had a lot of opportunities that could have ended up in the back of the net, to be honest with you, and some that did and were called and were called back. So I was impressed. I was happy with how we came out and played. I mean, there were some things that I was a little bit less than satisfied with, but you know, those are negligible compared to the overall performance.
Sorry, like what?
I wasn't very happy with the performance of Jeff Slupp. I felt like he seemed lost at times, and I felt like he barely ran a lot. It was kind of weird. Like I got to a point where I was like, all right, I'm gonna count how many times I see Jeff Slupp sprint. And in the second half, I think it got up to 3. But
he was better. But he was better second half, though. You're right.
He was much better second half because I think the 3 sprints were probably more than what he did in the first half.
Oh, 100%. I agree.
But you know, I thought we could be better there. I wasn't really happy with that at all. But that was probably the biggest thing that stood out as a con to me. Other than that, I loved the pairing between Lerma and Decore. Like Jefferson Lerma is probably the ideal complement in central midfield to Decore. Number one, to give him, you know, that help to where so much isn't put on him all the time. Lerma is amazing in the air. He won 12 out of 13 aerial duels today.
I noticed. Did you see that flick in the second half where he flicked with his head over the? That was that South American talent.
And the thing about it, he has an element in his game that Decore doesn't have. Decore is not really an in the air player. So having a guy like that next to him and what it does for Eze was everywhere because he had that freedom. You know what I mean? So love seeing that. Edward I love what I saw from Edward. That was really good for us to see. He got a goal, could have had 2. I think he's a different player when he doesn't have to play with his back towards the goal. When he's able to be more of a goal poacher, advanced striker playing off the shoulder, he's a different type of guy. He was a lot more physical too. It seems like he's finally standing up to being more physical in the Premier League game. So I don't know, man. I'm happy with what I saw from the team, man.
But guys, I have a comment regarding the Lerma Decore. I love it too. Don't get me wrong, but I want to see a little tweak, and I'm interested how you guys thought about why did they have Lerma get the ball off the back for the entire game and not Decore? Because clearly Decore is a much better passer. But every time watch it again. Every time they dropped into the balls off the back foot, it was Lerma getting the ball and had Decore playing higher, which is interesting. Listen, Decore is a better passer, so maybe it was for attacking wise, but from the defensive part. Yeah, I'd rather have Decore back there because Decore is a much better passer. That aside, I thought tactically it's hard to have it spot on, but I just interested. I saw every time they dropped down, the ball came off the back foot. It's always Lerma getting the ball every single time. So we all know he's not a great passer.
Decore is better at connecting the play. I don't know.
Maybe that was it. Maybe that's it. I'm just interested. Again, first match, I want to see how he progressed, but I just think that was interesting today.
That's a good observation.
But next time, who knows? Next game,
I think they both can do the job. Like Lerma, I hear what you're trying to say about Decore being a better passer, but I think Lerma could do the job as well. And I think you've done a fantastic job today. And I'll be honest, I love him already because I've said it before. The most exciting thing to look forward to ideally this season is that midfield, because there are some weaknesses in the forward
100%,
areas,
100%.
and we know all about that, and we know that we need to strengthen. But that Lerma Decore duo is going to be absolutely delicious to watch.
Class, man.
Literally, I even today, like you've seen, they just complement each other so great. And then behind them, you have Gay and Anderson. So that was very good to see.
It's one of those things, D. It's like with that midfield three, with those three guys, regardless of who we go up against, I'm never going to feel like we can't compete in the midfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, you will. You will against top 6 sides, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah. But then it's better.
I think they
it's
can
improved.
compete against those guys, though. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that they're better, but I'm saying they can go out there and compete, and it's not like oh man, we're gonna get killed in the midfield even before a match starts.
No, we won't get killed. But I just think that you're right. They're definitely gonna make compete better in the past. But I just think that there are better midfields out there, clearly. But I want to throw some stats out there for you guys. I know it was an away game, and Sheffield United aren't very good. But possession-wise, we had 67%. They had 33%. We had 443 accurate passes. They had 162.
440?
43.
Yeah, we controlled the play, though.
82%. It was ridiculous. 24 shots to their 8.
Yeah, we had 12 each half.
Yeah. 17 shots inside the box to their 4. So I know the wingers weren't great, but as an attacking, and again, I know Sheffield aren't great, but as an attacking unit today, I thought, Mitchell getting involved a lot was great. I thought Ayu did a great job. Eze obviously creating most of the stuff. But I just thought just in general, the attacking, it's not good. It has to be better against better sides, obviously, but we should have had 3 goals.
Yeah.
A foot away. Ayu's goal was a foot offside, and also Edouard was a foot offside. So again, it's what it is.
And then the save on Anderson's header.
I said at the start of the show, the only disappointing thing coming out of today's game is the fact that we didn't score more goals, which is very positive in itself. Because we could have easily scored at least another goal, maybe 2 or 3. Yeah, exactly. Which is positive in itself. I know some people saying Sheffield United, calm down and this and that, but you can only beat what's in front of you. We dominated the play. We created chances, especially in the second half. It was improved better than the first half. In the first half, we did create chances, but it was like long distance shots.
That's an away match. Your first Premier League match of the year, and Sheffield, like listening to that match on TV. They were loud. Their fans.
No, the fans were loud.
Of course they're going to be out.
So that wasn't an easy environment to go into either.
No, listen. We all know going away from home in the Premier League is difficult. For us last year was very, very difficult. Even against lower Northern Forest last year. 1-0 away, Everton. So no, I'm not taking anything away from winning. Just the fact that we could have had more goals. But again, I don't care. Clean sheet, 1-0, played well. Move on. Next game. Who's next? Arsenal, easy game Monday.
So easy again Monday. But before we actually talk about Arsenal, of course, we'll talk about it at the end of the show. We're going to bring on the guests in just a few minutes' time. But before we actually bring on the guests, I just want to quickly mention Edouard, because I think it's only right. Him and Mateta has been the main targets, the main focus about strengthening this off-season. Now it's not off-season. The season's officially started. And I said that at the start of the show as well. And I said it before. I said it in the summer. For me, the main problem that I have with Edouard and Mateta is that they don't offer much to the game apart from the odd occasional goals that they have. For me, I want to see more from a striker. I want to see link-up play. I want to see, a bit of a fight and a bit of contribution. And today, I thought Edouard's goal tops his performance, and I think this performance, other than the goal, was absolutely fantastic. I thought he had a very good link-up play with Eze. He seemed up for the game, and that's the most important thing. It might sound a bit easy to say or cliche, but he genuinely looked interested. His body language was on point, and he had a fantastic finish as well. He was at the right place at the right time for the finish. But for me, the most important thing was Edouard was involved in the game apart from the goal. The goal was a massive bonus. Of course, you want your striker to score, but he offered way more than that, and that was very positive to see. The only thing is now, can you continue that? Because one performance ain't, good enough for me. Hopefully, this is the start of something new, and hopefully, just like Roy's done with Eze, he can have that impact on Edouard now that he's had a bit of time to work with him.
Couldn't agree with you more, man. I think a big piece of what we saw from him, like I said, is just he was up for it, man. Like he was up for it. He was being more physical, playing through things, and the link up was great. Like I said, I mean, him being able to play off the shoulder of the defenders too makes him a different type of threat for us that we've been needing.
Yeah, 100%. I agree as well. For you, Patrick, in terms of expectations for Edouard, now that the season started, of course, it's only one game, but how many goals do you expect to see from him for him to have a successful season?
No idea. You know I'm not doing this, right? I'm not doing the prediction thing. I'm not doing it. Listen, he's off to a great start. Hope he'll keep it up, but I'm not doing the prediction thing because you look like a fool when it doesn't come through. So I'm good. You and
Yeah.
T and everybody else, you guys can predict. I'm good. I thought he played really well today. Hope he continues doing what he did, but I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh,
Hey,
based on today, yeah,
I
at
don't
least
want to
20
do it
goals.
either. I
Not
don't
doing
want to do it either.
Not doing it.
Well, fair enough. For me, if he hits more than 5, let's say, I think 10 would be a very good season. But of course, I'm not saying
Okay.
he's going to hit 10. I think that would be a good season, maybe coupled with a few assists. But then maybe I'm expecting a bit too much. It just depends. If you want to say Edward can do it, the only problem is it seemed like his body language has been off ever since he joined. Hopefully, there's a change of attitude this season, and hopefully that goal gives him that confidence boost that he really needs. But look, people, let's bring on the guests. Let's start off with Alex. As always, if you're enjoying the show, hit the like button, people, and subscribe if you're new here. It takes a second of your time and helps us grow the channel as well. Let's bring on Alex.
We're back.
Yes, we are back. We
All
are
right.
back with a win away from home, a clean sheet as well. As we spoke about, me and Patrick and T, there's nothing really bad to talk about. The performance was very good.
I agree.
Spot on. We control possession. We create chances, and we look like the better side, which we should do, considering it's a newly promoted team. But what did you make of the performance?
A few things, actually. I think you guys are hitting the nail on the head, so I always try to think a little differently. And Jeff, sorry, the Newcastle game. Tonali just scored, and then he almost scored again, which is like, I didn't even know he could do that. I knew he was good, but I didn't know he was like 2 goals in 7 minutes good. Sorry. Okay. Anyways, what was I going to say? First off, defense of Jeffrey Schlupp. It was a very Jeffrey Schlupp game. And I think because he looks a little bit more overweight, I think people are getting on him too much. And so it looks like he's not trying hard. But he had 4 tackles, 8 of 11 ground duels won, 3 dribbles that were successful out of 4. Like, he was very Jeffrey Schlupp in the second half, but he was pretty close to unacceptable in the first half. He was very anonymous, I would say. But that's defending Jeff Schlupp. And I thought you guys were talking about the Lerma Doucouré, the fact that they work well together. It's very similar to Anderson and Gahey, where Anderson started here and he was good in the air, and Gahey started here and he was good in the ground. And eventually they're good at both, I would say. But there's always going to be like Gahey's a little bit better on the ground and Anderson's a little bit better in the air. And I like that. I like that they're not the same
really
player.
good comparison. That's actually a really good comparison.
Yeah. So those are the only like weird things I could think of. I love the Lerma fast break at the end. That came out of nowhere. Like, he had so much open field. I didn't even like. Was there like a Sheffield United player within like 30 yards of him? It felt like I didn't see anybody. He almost got the pass through, but like, yeah.
If that pass gets through, it's another goal. It's another goal if that pass doesn't get tipped for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was a really nice cross if it got through. Yeah. I
Alex,
thought. Oh, so what's up?
just going back to Schlupp. You know, if he's playing midfield with Eze and Doucouré like last season, he can do what he did today. But when we need him as an outside midfielder to create more, and that's the issue people are going to have with him. It's not the fact that he improved in the second half, which I agree. I said he did, but in the first half, he was like he was 3 of 10 passing. I looked it up. 3 of 10 passing in front. It was terrible. He ended up being 58%.
He was bad the whole game, the passing.
Right. But he got better. My point is, he drove the ball much better in the second half, was involved more. But we can't have only Ayew be involved in creating on one side. It's not going to work. Now, thankfully today, Mitchell was very involved. Say it again.
All of his runs are close to the box. So
no, you're right, and that's fine. But like I said, when you're coming off of Olise and Zaha being wide to Ayew and Schlupp, people are going to notice the difference. And that's my only point about Schlupp. It just can't be what he was last year. People are not going to. We won't be able to survive against better sides when he plays like that. To lucky today, right. You know what I mean. So I think that's the main issue. So
Alex,
Yeah.
what do you make of Edward today? Because Edward, I want to focus a bit on Eddie, and of course, Lerma is his first, it's his debut.
Villa goal.
Palace as well, professional debut.
I knew
But
this
yeah,
game was good. Sorry, Villa game. It's already 1-1. Anyways, so with Eddie, did anybody mention him almost pinching a few? Like, I thought that he made a really nice press where he almost got like a fast break like type thing. I don't know. I like that part of his game too. Like, he's always been better at that than Mateta. Mateta looks like he runs hard, but he really has no endurance. And Eddie showed a lot of endurance today, I thought. You know, Diaby was the one who scored. Yeah.
yeah. What about Lerma?
Oh, Lerma, I already love him. Like, I was probably way more on the signing than you guys were, but I like the barking at people. So Mitchell had a good game. The one time that he made a mistake,
He
it
was
was
chiding him to get forward. I remember that exact play you're talking
yeah.
about, Alex, because because Mitchell was laying back and he was telling him, man, get forward, be aggressive, and he kept the ball and he literally yelled at him like, man, get up the field. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, that's one of them. I didn't think of that one because he did it multiple times in the game. It was when Baldock was on the byline and he beat Mitchell to like the goal. And if Lerma doesn't step in there and stop the pass, that's a pretty easy shot and close to a goal. And he just barked at him. And he's like, I can't, like, you should have been able to, use the sideline to your advantage, but he just didn't quite get there fast enough. Other than that, I thought Mitchell had a very good game. And I don't know. I just like the fact that he's like Anderson in that way, where he will get on players to do something in a positive way.
Yeah, and he done that today. So looking forward now. I mean, it's a massive 3 points against Sheffield United away from home. I know we got a bit of a little break till the Arsenal game. It's not next weekend. It's on Monday night. Do you expect Roy to change anything about? Would you want him to change anything about? I mean, it's good that we're going into our first home game of the season with a win and a clean sheet as well.
Did anybody see the Arsenal game today?
I was literally traveling home.
I saw like the first half of it.
Yeah, the first half was where they were just really totally on it. And, towards the second half, it was like when Owoni came in, they started playing like Forest again because I think Forest are in big trouble. I think they had one gimmick last year and it worked really well. And that gimmick is we've got the three fastest players on the pitch. We will try to get fast break after fast break, but we will not hold the ball. Our midfield's terrible. So I can't get a really good gauge of how well they played because Forest is just so weird for me. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's positive anyways. Look, it's 3 points against
They did lose Jury and Timber in that game.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I forgot.
Timber, he had a knee injury. So they're worried about him. So they did lose him, but
yeah, it's not going to be easy regardless, even if they won or lost that game. Yeah, it's not going to be easy. But hopefully we carry the momentum on from this game. But look, Alex, thank you for coming on to the show. Hopefully we catch up with you after the Arsenal game.
Thanks as always, guys. Take it easy.
Take care.
Peace, man.
That was Alex having to say. If you guys want to call in, click on the pin comment in the comment section down below to join us live. Let me bring on Rich next. Rich and JC, how you lot doing?
Yo. Yes. First few things, D, welcome back. Obviously, I know you had your holiday. Hope that went well. T, get well soon, my bro. I hope the surgery went well and stuff. And Patrick,
appreciate it, man.
Good to speak to you as always as well and stuff.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Listen, professional performance today. Controlled the game really well. I was a bit worried first off because we lacked width. We lacked a lot of width. At first 10 minutes, me and JC were looking at each other like, what is Mitchell doing? But then we realized what it was slop. He was tucked in too much. He needed to be a lot wider. Mitchell had no options going down that left-hand side. But once we figured that out, we were brilliant. Eddie looked on it today. which was good to see. Lerma's unreal. Lerma is unbelievable. And you know what? Yeah, we deserved it. Shame we couldn't get a few more goals, but the attacking intent was there. So that's good looking going forward, especially when we're very light as a squad, you know. So hopefully we can continue that way.
Rich, let's talk about that for a second. So you said we're light as a squad, right? But let's be honest, he's not going to use any subs. So is that going to matter? Because look at today. Look at today. He gets injured or whatever, and he brings on Tompkins over Richards. You know what I mean? So I know it's an issue for us as fans, but I don't think it's going to matter because I don't think he's going to use any subs anyway this season. You know what I mean? So I mean, let's just see. But
yeah,
I think when
today's game was.
Sorry, Rich. Go ahead, bro.
Okay. No, I'm just going to say, like, apologies if our connection's a bit mad because obviously we're on the road back.
Oh, no, you're good, bro.
I was just going to say that I don't think this game was a bit hard to make subs in. And I don't know if, for example, like a Hamadal coming on
because the system was working and we were nullifying them in the right ways. And I feel like any change would have offset the balance. I think that we got the balance. I think Roy got the balance perfectly on with his starting 11. So really making any subs was only if necessary. And I think Mark picked up a bit of a knock. I do agree that maybe Richard should have came on instead. But I think that it was pretty a smart move to, I guess, bring on more Premier League experience to just see the game out for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, I agree as well. Look, there has been a few people saying, "Oh, look, no subs again today," but I don't think we needed any subs today. I think we just controlled the play. Everyone was fine, and the only one was the Gay. Tompkins coming off for Gahey in the last few minutes of the game, and I wouldn't look too much into that. I thought Roy got it right today. Even in regards to the subs, I didn't want him to change it about. It's the first game of the season. These players have had pre-season; they should be fit, and you let them play for 9 minutes. And I thought they've done a very good job. But I mean, you could have this debate potentially halfway through the season. But I think in the first game, when you're dominating like that away from home, you don't really want to change much and lose that momentum that you have. But Rich and JC, what did you guys make of? You mentioned Edward, but what do you think it was today that made him stand out apart from the goal? Because a lot of people talking about his overall performance than just the goal, which was fantastic.
For me, his overall work rate, he looked. I hate using the term interested because we can't ever know if a player's interested or not. But he was tracking back, linking up play. He kept making runs into channels as well a lot more. He kept himself really active. Because obviously where they play free at the back, he's going to have to find spaces from somewhere. And he did that really well. And I think that brings in both Eze and Ayew, who linked up with him a lot. They were very close to him all the time, which helped. Because normally Edward gets the ball, we're expecting him to hold it up for 2-3 seconds. He didn't need to do that today. He could just bounce it off today. He's got the players around him, and I think that's what we did well.
Yeah, and also we haven't really spoken about it, but the defense today was solid as well, and that includes Joel Wood, who I've said many times that we ideally should be looking for another right back because I feel like he can put in a performance here and there, but we can 100% do better. But the fullbacks look decent, the centre halves look decent, but most importantly, the goalkeeper Sam Johnson, who's been the main talk due to what's happening with Vicente, and he put out a tweet before the game started, which was weird. Yeah, which was very weird. I don't understand why I put out that tweet. But the defense on the Roy in the past was solid, and if we can get a goal or two here and there and be as solid defensively like we were against Sheffield United, yes, he's against Sheffield United, a new promoted side which doesn't have that much great talent so far from what I can see. That is a massive positive to take forward. As long as we improve the attack, if we can be solid defensively, it shows why we shouldn't sell Gay and Anderson, and it shows why maybe Sam Johnson is selected as number one as well, because today he didn't have much to do, but when especially his distribution, I thought that was very fantastic.
Yeah, it's funny how, like I said to JC at the game, when we had VG in goal, Anderson and Gay are literally standing next to him, but now it's Johnson. We don't do that anymore. It just shows, listen, they trust him. His distribution is incredible, and it just helps us ease pressure and so on and so forth. So now it's looking good. Happy with the clean sheet, especially.
Yeah. So from here onwards, of course, Arsenal not going to be easy. It's Arsenal. They're flying high from what happened last season. I know they beat Nottingham Forest today. Do you expect Roy to make any changes to counter Arsenal's strengths, or would you want to see a similar team or the same team and the same formation because it worked so well against Sheffield United?
Yeah. No, I don't expect any changes, to be honest, unless Lewis Hall does come in, because what he might end up doing. Yeah.
We still got them. I think we lost the. I think we've lost Rich and JC, but it was going well. It's going well. At least we got a few minutes out.
You saying something about Lewis Hall coming in and possibly maybe sliding in on
two
the
things.
left.
One, he's not coming, and two, if he does come in, he play next week.
Wait, why do you think he's not coming?
I don't think he's coming
because
in.
of the Elise thing. He's not gonna come now.
I think that'd be very petty from Chelsea. I think that'd be very petty from Chelsea.
No, well, that's what they do. You can tell they're trying to play us.
They're holding it up. Like
they're trying to play us. Yeah, they're trying to. Play us.
They're already showing the pettiness.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
It's out there, proving the pudding.
Forget those guys. Let's move on from that guy. I would love to have him, but let's move on.
Let's move on from Lewis Hall. Wouldn't it be unfair for Tyreek to be dropped after this game? Because I thought he had a solid performance.
I think
I don't think what Rich was going to say is that he
play
would
wide
play
left
him in there with him.
Yeah, he can play. Yeah, he can play. He can play midfield. So he probably play midfield.
I think he's going to put him in there because the one change. I don't think we're going to change personnel against Arsenal. I think we're going to go more to a 4-5 block, a low block with 5
Schlupp in there with
they're going to drop. They're going to drop Schlupp and IU in and go 4-5-1 rather than a 4-3-3. I can see us
low
doing
block
that.
for sure against them.
What Rich is probably going to say is you bring Lewis Hall in, sub him in for maybe Schlupp on that left side in that block to where he's playing left midfield in front of Mitchell. I don't think you're going to take Mitchell out. No.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, it's not going to be him. But he's not. Again, guys, you know, Lewis Hall could come in. He's not going to start. He's not going to play. He's not going to play in the first game. There's no chance of that.
Who we talking? We're talking about Roy Hodgson. We'll be looking Lewis Hall.
But I don't think it's a case of Lewis Hall not playing because of Roy Hodgson. I think Lewis Hall wouldn't play because Tyreek Mitchell actually had a solid performance.
No, you got the wrong position. We're talking about Mitchell. We're talking about him going in for Schlupp most likely on the left side.
Yeah, I don't think the move would be I don't think the move is going to be him replacing Tyreek.
Yeah, it wouldn't be Tyreek.
No.
If anything, you could put Hall in the middle and move Eze out wide left, which would by Hall is a midfielder by trade. He's a midfielder. He's very good at midfield. So they play left back because they needed him in there. But no, my point. I don't care if where you play him. He's not going to play in the first match anyway.
I don't think he's coming.
I don't think he's coming now either. Chelsea have acted very strangely. They're trying to push through this whole thing.
They would sabotage their own player
guy
like that.
I think they forced him to sign a new contract too. Yeah, they're clowns, man. They move on from Chelsea, bro. I wouldn't do nothing with those teams.
You know what the worst part is about it, Patrick? They really screwed Lewis Hall because he signed that big ass extension
contract
already,
and now he's stuck there. Exactly.
He now Chelsea's like, hey man, we can do whatever the hell we want to. You signed the extension,
telling you, man.
brother.
That club's moving mad right now. I swear. I hope they don't get Elise. I hope he goes to Man City over them. I swear. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure we'll talk about Elise and all those players in Palace news because there's going to be, the window's still open and that thing is heating up. So we'll see what happens with that
stuff. Yeah,
but yeah. Look, people, if you guys want to call in to the show, you can click on the pinned comment in the comment section down below to join us live to have your say on the game and more. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to hit the like button. People, let's get the likes up. Thank you to every single one of you for your support. Hopefully by the next stream my voice will be back. I haven't had my voice for the last 10 days, so I don't even know what I sound like anymore. But look, let's bring on the next guest, which is Tim. Tim, how you doing? Palace win, first game of the season.
What's up, Eagles? Yeah, that was great. Great.
Yeah, it was important that we started the season off with a win, especially against Sheffield United, which a lot of people expected us to beat them, and we done that. Not only that, but a very positive performance.
Fully agree. Thank you for helping me see what I wasn't seeing with Mitchell on the pitch. It makes a lot of sense the way you described it. I saw him getting forward and trying to make passes that just weren't going anywhere. And the idea that Schlupp is not getting out wide. It's that it makes more sense to think like that's a place where we normally have Wilf. And he was getting progressive, and he was getting forward. It's just the production on that side, just I wasn't having it. But you make a good point there. He was the kind of fullback I want to see getting forward. I just want to see better passes into that final third. But yeah, I mean, so the way you guys broke that down does make a lot of sense to me. I'll say one thing that I think it was really interesting, and I wonder how you guys think of this. Man, did I get so much joy out of seeing Joa bombing forward? I mean, and this is the thing, like what Roy has said, like you guys do what you do, take risks, and we'll back you. And it looks like, I mean, he was quality. By the way, Mark got forward too. And I don't think you can do that unless you have confidence in your defensive midfielders. And I think that was one of the things that is probably something that Joa wouldn't do if he didn't have Lerma, if he didn't have confidence that you can get forward, because there were many times that Lerma was tracking back, getting in players' face, getting in front of balls, moving things forward. When you've got cover like that, you can get forward. And it was brilliant to watch. I don't expect to see that against Arsenal. Let's be honest. That's not going to happen every week. But it was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was very good. It was very good, and it gave that confidence to to the other players. The fact that you have a player like Lerma and Decore, which is important. Both of them who can do a role in that defense if one of Yoki Madison or Mark Gay was to carry the ball, and he offers that bit of questions to other teams, such as who do we pick up, because we got very good ball players, especially in defense, that can carry the ball forward, which was very good to see today. But for you, Tim, just the performance today, I thought was fantastic. Keeping the ball, creating the chances, which is the most important thing. I know we only scored one goal, but if you play like that, if you create the chances, you would expect to score more than one goal. Today, tactically, we were spot on.
Yeah, I thought Roy got it exactly right. And it was fun to see, when we have the midfield players bombing forward like that, creating space for Ebbs. And Ebbs was, I mean, he didn't get his goals today, but he was a threat all game long. And getting the ball into the middle and playing through him was terrific. That was very fun to see. He got himself into a lot of dangerous positions. I did feel a little bit of the ache of missing Elise. So hearing you guys, I didn't know what you had said about holding up Hall because Chelsea is bitter about Elise. If that's true, you know what? Screw you, Chelsea. Just stop. If that's true, I don't know that that's true. So you guys tell me where that noise is coming from. But I can't say I'm surprised. This is why I think, like, you don't want somebody, at least I don't want somebody like Todd Bowley at Palace. Stay the hell away from my club. Just I think they are irresponsible and frankly a little nasty with the way they're throwing money around. I mean, look, I have no love or sympathy for Brighton, but full credit to them for sticking to their guns on Caicedo. That's what I want us to do. That's exactly what I want us to do. And so Chelsea is being in that situation just incredibly, I think, naive and nasty. So if they're doing it to us too, I can't say I'm surprised. It's really disappointing though, because I do want Hall in to challenge Mitchell. But to get to your point, Dee, I thought the performance was terrific. I thought IU played outstanding. It's really disappointing what we're getting from Vinny, but there were several times, it was 3 or 4 balls, where Johnston is just waiting for the run. IU makes the run, bombs it right down the right, and pinned it great. Like, good distribution off from Sam Johnston. So I thought it was tactically spot on, and we were creating in particularly on the right, less so on the left. I do want to see a bit more creativity on the left, but overall, yeah, I agree, Dee. Terrific performance.
Yeah, it was, and there were some individuals that we should give credit to. Of course, the winning goal comes from Odsonne Edouard. What a fantastic finish from him.
Yeah, I mean, it's Looney said something interesting that I hope is true, that you can get that Roy can coax a better performance, better runs out of Edouard, coming off the shoulder and just getting in on goal. Like, if we could just get him, we get people in the box, but we need a striker to make those runs on the crosses, right? And he made it today. I mean, he could have had, a couple of inches, but he could have had a brace today. It was awfully darn close. I mean, there were plenty of moments. I'd like to believe. So I may be naive here. So, maybe don't. Well, obviously, I'm going to get held to this, but I will say, I think he can get 10 to 12 goals. I think he has that capability. So, but he's got to make runs. He's got to work the way he did today, and he's got to be. He's got to be that guy that is looking to get in the box and just calling for the ball, get greedy and get in on goal. So I hope so. What I don't want to see is a typical Edouard performance where next week it's a bit more walking pace, which we've seen before, and I don't want to see that. So are we going to see Eddie really, working his socks off? Then yeah, I think he can get 10 to 12 goals.
Yeah, that's a very
that's a big call.
That's a very
that
big
might
call.
Be naive. That might be naive.
Well, hopefully you're right. Look, if he wants it, I think he can get it. It's a simple case of that. I think Edouard has got a bit of talent, but his attitude in last season, for example, it just seemed like in certain games he just can't be bothered, and I think that's what holds him back. But today, everything seems spot on, and that's why I was happy. The goal tops it off for me. The most important thing for me today was Edouard's actual attitude, which seemed like it was a massive difference. The fact that there was link-up play, there's more to his game than just a goal, and if he brings that to the table, then I think he can have something. And offer something to the team, which is the main positive that you want to see from a striker, especially that's struggling to score goals. But look, Tim, Arsenal's not going to be easy, but it'll be absolutely fantastic, even if we can get a point, like 0 shots on target, just something out of that game. But it's going to be difficult, ain't it? But it gives you confidence based on today's performance that you face them at home. Hopefully, you can carry on, this one game momentum and bring it on to the next game, which is not going to be easy.
Well, you're gonna have to hit them on the counter. And we've got the players to hit him on the counter. So, I would love to believe we can get a point out of that game. I agree with Alex that Arsenal they were good in the first half. They looked exposed for periods in the second half. They did get beat on the counter multiple times, and the goal that Awoniyi took was outstanding. I think we can get that kind of goal. Hey, quickly, I addressed something in one of the comments. Somebody asked me should we sell a player to help, tighten up our books? I say no. I don't want to sell anybody. Do you? I don't want to sell anybody right now. Like, I don't want to sell Gay. I don't want to sell Ebbs. I don't want to sell Elise. I don't want to sell anybody. I'm actually kind of annoyed at the report that we sold O'Brien. At least it goes to Lyon, in this whatever the multi-club model ends up being. And I wish we hadn't sold Mooney, but I get that. Like, especially if those have sell-on clauses, that'll be great. But look, the Texter interview and then the follow-up interview were pretty clear. We're a cash flow positive team, right? We're a bit more sustainable. If we don't have to sell right now, then don't sell. If you don't have to sell, don't sell. It would be crazy to sell right now, especially because I think when you look at the game today, you guys tell me, but I look at that game today and I can envision, I like Jeff Schlupp plenty, but had it been Ayew up the left side, with Eddie running through the middle and Elise on the right, that would have been really nice to watch. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. Today, look, Elise is still out. We don't know if Elise is going to be at the club come end of the window due to the reports that's coming out. But we have to strengthen. I think everyone knows that. And right now, as it stands, we don't have the quality in the first place. So yeah, selling wouldn't be an easy thing for the club to make. But if it's a case of we have to sell, then we will have to sell. I don't think it's the right approach as well, especially in this window after losing Wilf and the lack of attackers that we have. But look, we'll see. We'll see when it comes to that. Today, it's all about the win, 3 points, and
it was a
looking
great
forward
win
to the next game. Exactly.
It was a great win.
It's a great way to start
the
the
Premier
season.
League is back, man. I mean, how can you not be? Premier League is back. Palace is back. We're back here. It's fantastic, man. It's good to see you guys.
100%. But look, good to see you as well, Tim. Hopefully, we'll see you after the Arsenal game with same smile, same attitude. Hopefully, get another positive result.
Let's hope, man. Let's hope. All right.
Take it easy, guys. All right, then. Take care.
Tim. Good to
see you later, Tim.
All right, fellas, I got to hop off of here too, man. Appreciate getting to connect with you all, man, as usual.
All right, T.
Yeah.
All right, then,
soon, bro.
All right, then. Take care, bro. Yeah.
Palace,
Take care, man.
All right, see you later, bro. We're going to wrap up soon as well, but we'll go through the last few guests before we do. But if you guys are enjoying the show and, you can leave a like, that'd be much appreciated. It only takes a second of your time and helps us out massively. Patrick, before we bring on the guests, I think you agree with Tim there about, not wanting to sell players because ideally we're struggling with depth as it is. You can see the bench wasn't the strongest. And if he was to sell players, I guess you'll bring in a few players with that money. It raises a lot more question marks to a squad that hasn't got the depth in the first place.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't sell, but I think the least thing can be out of our hands. I think if the reports are true about him wanting to go to Chelsea and them activating some kind of clause, then we're going to have no choice but to sell him. Him aside, I wouldn't sell anybody else. That would really bother me, but I agree with you. Yeah, I wouldn't want to sell anybody. But again, at least I think it'd be out of our hands, I fear. We shall see.
Yeah, let's see what happens anyways with that because it seemed like yesterday things were heating up once again. But look, let's bring on the next guest, which is going to be Dan. Dan, you there?
Yeah, hello mate, you all right?
Yeah. We're well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm good to see you anyway, Dee, and you, Patrick.
Yeah.
It's positive, really, wasn't it? You know what I mean? It was a nice little run around. Good little 3 points against a team that's going to finish bottom of the league. Arguably, they're rubbish, but no, it was a positive performance. You know what I mean? And we had a look at some of the stuff that's going to go on this year, but hopefully we just keep that solid shape, and you know what I mean. It's Decore and Lerma with the block at the back is I think the best we've seen in the Premiership era of Palace.
Yeah, Decore and Lerma has got the potential to be absolutely fantastic together. I think going past them two is going to be a struggle. Like Decore last year held it down himself, and then when you have a player that could offer more, it's unfair. But look, that was the first game, and I always thought them two would be exciting, and we saw in the first game. Hopefully, they keep it up. But it's not only Decore and Lerma. I think Lerma had a fantastic debut, but the eyes were on the striker because, as you know, the striker situation has been ongoing for ages. It was Mateta better than Edouard better than Mateta. Do we need strikers? How many strikers do we need? The questions are always ongoing. But today, Edouard, yes, he scored a goal, but he put in a very solid performance.
Yeah, Edouard frustrates me at times. You know what I mean? Because he's got it in him. He's got it in him to score like 10 to 15 goals a season. You know what I mean? And this season, I think, is a massive one for him. You know, he hasn't hit the ground running. Okay, fair enough. You know, he got given a chance last season with them running games, like 10 running games, and he looked all right. He didn't look too bad, but sometimes he can just look bang average, and it frustrates you. But if Roy gets the best out of him, I agree with Tim, but I think he can get 15 goals this year, easy. You know what I mean? Wow. And then maybe get Che Adams or someone on loan, just to sort of say, "Hey, I'm here if you screw up," sort of thing.
Yeah. In terms of creativity, Dan, what did you think of it? Because in the second half, yes, we played better, but in the first half, you could see how much we rely on the likes of Eze to create things. And it's pretty much Eze again on the ball trying to create things, which is fantastic because he's a fantastic player. But then again, when you don't have Elise, when you don't have other creative players out on the pitch, especially like a number 10-ish, because Decore and Lerm are fantastic on the ball, but they're not number 10s. It was a bit concerning at times. What did you make about the creativity options that we have right now on the team? Do you think it's enough? Because when Elise comes back, that's going to be another option. Francois, when he's in the team after his injury, that'll be another option on top of Elise and Eze. Are we fine with creativity in the team, or do you think we need more signings in terms of backup to Ebbs and to help support creativity?
No, we lack it. We lack it big time. If we want to, I'm not saying we're going to push on this season, but again, be stable in that 11th place. There's teams that have in and around us that have strengthened with their creativity. But I still think we lack another creative midfielder because Ebbs just can't do it on his own. You know what I mean? We've lost Zaha, which is a mad talisman, and that was our creative that was our creative bit. We had Zaha, Eze, and Elise. I'm looking forward to watching this Franca, and then possibly switching Eze out onto the right hand side, and then whoever comes in maybe on the left hand side. But I want to see Rakazaki in there as well, maybe. But I don't know. But I definitely feel we need another creative midfielder.
Yeah. I think Ahmada could be an option as well. We'll see how Roy uses him because in preseason he looked exciting, but of course preseason and the normal season, that's two different things. So we'll see how Roy uses them. But look, Dan, really appreciate your time for coming on and having us say. Hopefully we have another positive result against Arsenal on Monday night.
It's an easy 5-0 win, mate, isn't it?
Exactly. That's the attitude we need. All right, then. Take care, Dan.
All right, take care, boys. All right.
Let's bring on Patrick, and then we'll go through some comments and then wrap it up. Patrick, win, clean sheet. Roy's got the win. Roy's number one fan as well, so he must be happy about the performance and the result as well.
I'm happy Roy was about to kick that player right in the head. I mean, that sets the tone. Early in the preseason, Patrick said something that has stuck with me today. The spine of the team. And when you got a 76-year-old man's ready to punt somebody and angry about it, this is the second time in this. The preseason he went after the one player that tackled Eze or Hughes. I forget the Colombian team we played. And now this,
yeah.
I think it's definitely, if your players see that, it gives them that extra pump. And yeah, look, Sheffield United's bad. I mean, we two offside goals. We should have won by more. Good performance. There's nothing bad to say today. Schultz, better second half, but do you think there's any chance he goes to the bench? They put Eze on the wing and put Hamada in. I'm not good. I don't know much tactically. I'm just a regular old fan. But Patrick, D, what do you think on that?
No, I've heard many comments from Roy how much he loves Jeffrey Schlupp, so I don't think he'll ever come out of the lineup, honestly, unless he's injured. So that's what it is. He'll have good games, he'll have good bad games, he'll have good halves, bad halves. That's how Schlupp is. So, but as far as a player, I know Roy loves how he plays, so I don't think he's gonna come out personally. So.
Yeah, I think it'd be hard to see it happen. But yeah, it does sound exciting on paper. But yeah, I just don't see Roy dropping Schlupp at the moment, especially after the game that we've had. We had a clean sheet, very good team performance. So I don't expect many changes. But as I said, very good team performance. The individuals that stood out to me were Lerma, Edward. For you, was there anyone else?
Yeah, the consistency of Anderson in that back, commanding that back line. Again, he got out of position a couple times. And Anderson covered it up. Anderson demanded the ball, and basically he was a fourth midfielder today because they were, playing so far back. He commanded the ball. Joe Ward too. I don't think a lot of people giving the man credit. He controlled the ball well. He overlapped. I mean, it looks like he's just playing free. Like, okay, yeah, you might beat me on the side. I don't care. I'm going forward. And now it's just like completely the last 11 games, counting the 10 last year, and the one today for Roy, he just looks like a different player. Now, next week he's going to be exposed, yeah, but he looks like he's just been given the freedom. Go get it. And I noticed today they dropped, like Patrick, you said they were dropping Lerma back, but always forward bombing forward to get Anderson up. It's an interesting little tactic. I don't think they're going to do it as much next week, but why not? I mean, tomorrow, to me, I don't like the word free hit, but next week's about as free a hit as you get. You're at home. It's under the lights, right?
Yeah, it's a great point about Ward, though. I looked at my stats. He had 11 touches in the final third, which is a lot for a right back. So it's a great point about that by him. Great point.
And his passes weren't out of place. He created, I don't know if he had the stat for corner kicks. I know he at least created.
Yeah, 86% passing accuracy for a right back again also. So he had a solid game today, Ward.
Yeah, I mean,
point him out. He deserved the credit. You're right.
Yeah, it's just the shame of it is it's just not more goals. But, I can deal with the scoring the offsides goals that are just off by a couple inches, or a guy making a great save on Anderson's head. I mean, that you can't.
That was a great save, by the way.
So, yeah, and somebody was, I think Dan said, finishing 11th. If Roy gets 11th place out of this thin team, coach of the year, because there's no depth. There's just nothing. We're talking about moving Racksack. You can't play Racksack in a game like that. You need IU on the right to cover for Joe Ward. But it looks like those players, that group of players, are an actual team. Like, I mean, okay, yeah, we're a club, but they look like they get along. Lermo will get in somebody's face if they screw up. Anderson will get in somebody's face if they screw up. Johnston was yelling at a few people. That's what you need when you got a thin team and you're trying to survive. I think their attitude is they think they're better than that. So, hey, go with it. There's nothing negative to say today. We got to get Jeffrey Sharp on board a little bit. But other than that, I don't care. All that, Guaita with hosting a post on Twitter, which makes no sense. Elise going to go, not going to go. I don't care about all that today. 3 points in the bag, and let's keep it going.
100%,
That's really all I got.
But before you go, Patrick, just out of curiosity, what is the expectation this season then? Because you talked about lack of depth. You talked about 11th would be basically, near enough a major shock. So what do you expect this season as a fan?
Honestly, based on how other teams have strengthened and how we have not, if we got 45 points, I'm doing backflips. But honestly, 14th, 15th, 40 points. Because the spine, like Patrick said it perfectly a couple weeks ago, the spine of that club, right down the middle. I'm going to count IU as part of that because he's that type of player as well. Will keep us up. And to me, there's no point in complaining about owners. You already know where I stand on it. So I'm going to watch the midfield. I am going to hope that, Franca comes back from Franca, however his name is. He comes back from
it's Franca. Yeah, Franca.
Right, Franca. And apparently Roy wants Raksaki to stay on the club, not to be loaned out, if I read that correctly. So
I heard that too, yeah.
If we finish 15th and get a couple young players in that actually want to play and stay, as opposed to working behind the shadows like Elise is, and that's just my opinion, then 15th, 14th, 40 points with some bright future ahead. Actually, some light at the end of the tunnel as opposed to the same old drudge. I'd be happy with that because you can't expect any more than that. Now, I'll tell you what, though, based on what I saw today with these three teams that came up and West Ham and Bournemouth, I tell you, the back end of the Premier League was overrated last year. I don't think it's any better this year.
Yeah, the teams.
I mean,
the only thing is there's going to be
this today. Everton looks like trash.
Yeah, the window's still open, so unless something drastic happens, I agree. There are some very poor teams in the Premier League, but you have to take a game at a time. 3 points today, clean sheet today. Now the objective should be, even though it'll be very hard, to try and keep a clean sheet against Arsenal. As long as you keep a clean sheet and you get something out of the game, that'll be fantastic. But of course, that's going to be very difficult. But look, Patrick, thank you for coming on and having your say on the game.
One more quick point, real quick, about Chelsea. You guys talk. If Abramovich was still the owner, Paul would be here. So I hope that American ownership falls flat on its face. That's it. Fair enough. That's where I'm going to. You guys have a great week. Get ready for the
Appreciate you, man.
Off the Palace. Same to you guys.
Up the Palace. Up
Thanks,
the Palace.
Patrick.
Thank
Take
you,
care, buddy.
Patrick. Thank you for calling into the show. Let's go through some comments, Patrick, and then we'll wrap up before we record the player ratings, which should be out after this in about an hour or two. But if you guys are enjoying the show, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Patrick, look, of course, it's a big win. We got Arsenal coming up. We'll talk about Arsenal preview. We'll do all of that next week. But Jordan Ayew, we haven't mentioned him really. Jordan Ayew providing an assist, our unsung hero again. Another senior player that stepped up today despite the criticism he gets. Works hard literally every single match, goal or no goal, underrated. Yeah, I've said it before. If Jordan Ayew had end product or better decision making, then you wouldn't be at Palace, because I think his technical abilities, dribbling at times, is just second to none, and can't be unmatched. But you know, he was also one player that stood out today. Any other unsung heroes they spotted in today's game that we haven't mentioned?
No, I mean, Patrick pointed out Ward, which deserves to be credited. And again, Looney's right. Ayew played really well today. Great cross on the assist for Edouard's goal. Drew a bunch of fouls as usual. That was a great outlet on the right side. I mean, outlets on the right side was worked a lot today. So no, I mean, great to point him out. I think Ayew played really well today.
Yeah, he did. Look, people, we're gonna wrap this up. Of course, my voice hopefully should be back next week, as I can actually rest, which I couldn't do on holiday, funny enough. But look, it's good. It's good to see Palace win. It's good to see the 3 points and a clean sheet as well. Good to talk to every single one of you. Thank you to all of you that are tuned in live and watching on replay. Let us know your thoughts in the conversation down below if you're watching on replay. And if you're new to the channel and you haven't already done so, make sure to subscribe and like the video if you have enjoyed it. Thank you to Patrick and every single one of you that's called in, left in your comments. Really appreciate you all. We'll be back probably very soon. I don't want to give it an exact day, but maybe even tomorrow, based on what's going on with Palace stuff. With latest Palace news. So we'll be back with those. Don't worry about that. And also player ratings should be back later on today. So keep your eye out on that. That's it from me and Patrick. And until next time, up the Palace. Keep safe, people.